That's how it
I was
goes.
thinking about how many times I got the crotch picked.
It's live right now.
Hey! Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hangin Sangin. We were holding our breath and doing all sorts of things, waiting for the camera to go live. I'm Kelly McCartney from the Bluegrass Situation. With me today at Hillbilly Central, the lone Bellow.
Hello.
Hi. Brian. Zach. Kaneen. Welcome. So glad to have you guys here. New album, Walking to the Storm. So good.
Made
so
it right
good.
down the street.
Did you make it at Studio A?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you'd done it at Studio A or Low Country, so made it with Dave Cobb.
Yeah.
Good job. He kind of hard to go wrong with that guy.
Good Cobb.
The Cobster.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good stuff.
cuz.
Yeah.
That's true. They truly. His grandmother showed up one day, and she's like real big on the history of her family.
Oh.
And in Georgia, there's Cobb County.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff. And Brian's mother's maiden name, is Cobb.
Oh.
So basically, there was a big family split about a century ago. And
Like Hatfield and McCoy level split, or?
I think I don't know. I don't want to go into too much detail.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
But they're
like
related
but
for
there
real.
were, yeah, so the certain amount of Cobbs
Bagginses.
moved to Cobb. Like they took that whole county over, and then we stayed in the pine trees
Interesting.
in the middle of nowhere.
So has Dave taken to introducing you as his little cousin, like he does Brent? Like
Not yet.
that's the only way
I don't
Brent
have
gets
long enough hair
introduced.
yet.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But-
something to aspire to. Life goals, Brian.
Life goal.
So, a whole lot of life changes have happened since your last record. You collectively moved here to Nashville. You had some babies. So, how has that shifted the dynamic in the group? Because I assume some of it has.
I hadn't thought about it. We all three of us had a baby between. All three of us had boys between the two
Yeah.
record cycles. Crazy.
That's
So
not a
they are
small
gonna start a
thing.
band.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
It'll be
Hopefully
like
it's a
Hanson,
metal band.
but like,
But,
Pop melodies, but metal music.
yes,
okay.
That's what we want.
totally.
All right.
it's probably changed the most for you.
Probably. Yeah. So I have a 4-month-old.
Yeah.
Comes out on the road. He's a pro. Sleeps in a bunk.
He has the little headphones. I've seen them.
yeah. He's got the headphones. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. I feel a lot less self-focused in a way.
Yeah.
Just when something needs you so much and requires so much of your time.
Yeah.
So, in a way, it's been really good for that. In another way, I don't know. I'm like walking through the bus while it's moving with like a crying
Yeah.
baby, trying not to wake anyone up so I can feed him in the middle of the night. Just
And it's Brian, and you
So-
always
yeah,
think
and
it's Orion.
Brian.
It's not.
Yeah, Brian's always the one. I'm like,
Brian
we need a
used
snack.
to feed me like a baby bird.
Yeah. Well, tell me this: who brings? There's a whole lot of things going on up in your music. A whole lot of different spirits moving. So, who brings what musical influences and impacts to it? Because there's the gospel thing, there's the rockabilly on this song, there's a bluegrass on this song, there's just rock and roll on this one.
Yeah.
Do you all have a little bit of everything, or is this like a Donnie and Marie, a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll?
Brian definitely brings the show
Roll.
tunes.
Dude, I'm so into show tunes. No joke.
No, that's not a lie.
I don't know.
I feel like we all have similar influences. Like we
It's-
all grew up listening to Boys to Men, which I think is like really where we wanted to harmonize.
Ah.
It's definitely not talked about that much. Like I think it's like it's in there somewhere at the subconscious level, but when we go into create, it's just like whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
No.
Because it doesn't feel disjointed in any way.
I think I think we've since the beginning we've tried to serve the song as best possible.
Yeah.
And then you got me probably in the background saying, "So speed it up a little bit, please."
And,
But
Got to get to where we're going.
4 more bars of guitar solo.
oh yeah,
8 more
always never get them, but I always advocate for more guitar solos.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like I mean, the Bill Withers Carnegie Hall recording is huge. But the thing that I love most about it is the banter. I mean, the music's awesome, but his storytelling is incredible.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say we've all been listening to Ryan Adams for over a decade individually.
I think we all grew up listening to Motown. I think you grew up more in like Southern rock and like
Allman
classic
Brothers
country.
and
And I was like, my parents loved like Buffalo Springfield and the Beatles. And
Okay.
And I was like Keith Green. And
I don't know who he is.
no, who's the guy? The squirrel went berserk.
Oh, Ray Stevens.
Ray Stevens. He's got a little building right over
Yeah,
here.
he's
Yeah,
like
I always do. I'm sorry.
A 70s piano Christian singer,
He had
which was all. He was great.
Yeah,
Ray,
amazing.
Ray
It sounded
Stevens
just
had
like
that-
Elton John, but it was,
Ray Stevens had that Christmas video that my grandmother would watch every year, and it's like Santa Claus is watching you.
He's everywhere. Dude, we grew up in the same town, just different names. Just redneck.
Oh man. Well, you mentioned Boys to Men and sort of aiming for those
Always,
types of harmonies, and obviously, you guys, the vocal blend is the thing. It's the heart of it. But it's more than just tone and technique, though, right? It's like you guys are like a school of fish or something. Like, where does that? How do you develop that sort of intuition to sing with each other, to know when? Oh, I'm gonna step back here. I'm gonna be the front fish on this one, because
Yeah.
it's so fluid.
Yeah. It's funny. Things have been changing even while we've been playing live shows.
Yeah.
Where like different moments will happen during a song that we've sung like 300 times. All of a sudden somebody will do something different, and then someone else will like roll with it. And like there's that song Watch Over Us that Brian sings that I find myself doing different things, and I don't know why, and it's probably because Keneen's doing different things. And
Yeah.
I don't know, so we listen to each other very closely.
Yeah.
But also with the recording, I know like these guys worked super hard and had a lot of fun with the harmonies this time around.
harmonies.
Harmonies.
Oh man, we played a wedding one time, like right after we started, and
One and that's it.
the only one, but it was
One
like
and
one of
done.
our best friends' weddings, and he asked. We learned like 6. This is the only covers we've actually ever learned, I think.
We're probably just still singing songs from that.
But
2012
I
gig.
remember that, and like it was crazy. Like everybody's having a good time. There's drinks going, and we were playing these songs and going back and forth. And Keneen would lead one, and Zach would lead one. It was just like I saw it then. Like it was so fun. I was like, if we can do this with our own songs, it's gonna be a ball, and I think it'll connect with people. And I think
People will fall in love.
You have a
Yeah,
huge
people
wedding band.
Awesome.
no, but like
Yeah.
I remember it just then because it was just
Yeah.
like there was a seamless.
It just
And
all
I'm
was it
kinda
that
thankful-
moment that it just kind of all clicked.
I don't know. There
Or
was
that
a
you-
couple moments, but
It
I mean,
really-
it's
yeah.
actually like that's the one thing that always comes so natural.
Yeah.
Like everything else, we're kind of like trying to figure out how the song should sound. But
Yeah.
the harmonies is like, we work on them and we want to make sure we're not like just doing what we'd always normally do. We want to make sure it's different. But that's the one thing that like we can always like fall back on.
Yeah.
It happened
was the
really
magic.
natural
Yeah.
and like at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And Brian and I both did a lot of group singing where you're trained to listen.
Right.
But even that doesn't really guarantee you're going to have the same intuition as somebody else
Yeah,
and like where
yeah.
to go vocally. So
There's
Or
a
even that
mystical component to it, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you live in a confined space with somebody, you
Well,
either
that's
end
right,
up
too.
liking them a lot or hating them.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of get on
And
the other side of the other one.
Either way, you're gonna
So, but you're
you're
end
gonna
up, like,
know them really
But it's
well
almost
either
like
way.
two like people coming back from like war or something. Like they
Yeah.
look at each other, you kind of like get it. You're almost
Yeah.
like I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but you can kind of look at each other and like kind of know where it's going if
Yeah.
we're all like humming on the same page. Which I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like you guys have toured with Brandy Carlisle. She and the twins,
Yeah.
they're freaks
Yeah, man, they're
Mhm.
amazing.
in the best possible way.
Absolutely.
But, it's that thing of like, they spend so much time together, even off the road,
Mm-hmm.
that, love each other. They love each other deeply. They're family now. They're all married to
Yeah.
each other and stuff. But it's that kind of thing. It is. I think it's it's that it's just like energetically you get synced up and then it comes out in the music.
Yeah.
but there's also a trust element, right?
Oh, yeah.
That, not just with the singing and playing together, but then when you guys go to sit down and write songs, because you have to, like, share your most vulnerable, like, you guys pour some stuff out in this, so how easy is that? Is it easier to be vulnerable in that kind of setting, or to lay it out all on a stage? Which is harder, easier?
It's easier for me on the stage.
Yeah.
Because just like
A little more anonymous.
more people, you're just
weirdly.
like, wow, what's wrong with that guy? But like when it's just like two other people, it's like, what's wrong with you?
There's nothing to hide behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got on stage.
But
there.
even that, I mean, since day one, the songs that we've had have been really personal songs.
Yeah.
And I think that we've grown fond of that way of writing. And we have, and that's led to like really fun songs and stuff like that. But I don't know. And then we always try to do that little magic trick where maybe the lyrics aren't terribly fun, but then we hide them.
Yeah.
And like a really fun song.
Bare
We're like,
minimum.
yeah, I love this song. Can't be happy for long.
Yeah.
Wait, what are they saying?
Hey, what? Why not? Yeah.
This is a song from the first album called You Can Be All Kinds of Emotional. And the lyrics are gut-wrenching terrible. And, it wasn't, that one. But another one, like You Never Need Nobody, which is like a fun melody. Somebody one time was like, yeah, walk down the aisle to that song. I was like, no! I mean, unless you want to start at like rock bottom and then build from there.
Dude.
I get
That's
that
not a bad
strategy.
Expectations
bad
level.
idea.
Yeah.
That's good for marriage.
It only kind of is like, it just shows you like how, and that's the thing about music though, like you can enjoy it just on a superficial level, just vibe-wise, but then if there's something more that you can go into, then you discover this whole other world. And yeah, I love, those are my favorite artists and songwriters when that's the case. It's just like, oh, like what? Wait, where am I going with this?
Yeah, man.
That's fun.
Makes it bearable.
Yeah. And we mentioned Dave Cobb before, produced this record. You also worked with Charlie Peacock on your first record and Aaron Dessner on the second. Those are three bad cats there. So how do you guys see the artistry evolving? Do you feel like it's been sort of a refinement of something that was already there, or are you sort of each one is a step towards something still to come?
I think we were talking to someone a couple weeks ago, and they asked if one record is like the call and response to another record. And I think that we definitely have had that a little bit, where like first record was like lots of natural instruments, like super kind of low key. Second record was like synth and and then third record we're like, no, we're going back. We just want like a snare drum and an electric guitar. And so there's that side of it, but I think that the growth side of it is when we made the first record, we had been a band for like 3 or 4 months.
Right.
We jumped in with Charlie. We made the record in 3 days at Rockwood Music Hall up in New York, which was our like stomping grounds up there for a long time. And we were just like, wow, this is insane. And I think as the process went on, it was more of like, wow, this is actually what I'm dedicating my whole life to this now. So
quitting the day jobs.
Yeah, so I'm gonna lean into these conversations about what songs should sound like and feel like a little more and a little more. And I think one of the fun things with working with Cobb was he really loves to kind of wakeboard on the wave of energy. So we would have a song that we've had, and he would either say like, I don't like that, let's change it to this. And we would either be like, yeah, that's a great idea, or we'd be like, no. And he'd be like, why? And then we'd have to stick to it. Yeah. So either way, we came out like guns blazing. Right. Either excited about his idea or excited about sticking to the guns of our idea. And I can hear it in this third record, just like that excitement. Because in room A, it's huge.
Yeah.
You know, it's the old like orchestra room.
Yeah.
So he has it set up where one side of it, you know, is like the couches and stuff, and we would sit over at the couches and play through, and then we would just walk over to the other side of the room and record the song. We'd all sit around the mics.
Right.
So that was really fun.
Yeah. He brings magic.
Mm-hmm.
He's just that kind of guy. So.
It's in the beard.
Yeah. It's in his eyes too. There's something in his eyes.
Laser.
Yeah.
And his extreme love for the Beatles.
Oh, yeah. We talk about that all day.
I've no doubt. Here's something I was thinking about as I was listening to the record today. I got to May You Be Well, which you wrote for your daughter, Loretta, but it obviously has a broader call, a broader wish. And it kind of got me wondering, in this particular time that we find ourselves in, and just was kind of thinking about why we all are in music, you know, and like how do you guys process things like Vegas or Paris, those shootings, or like the singer who was killed last year, or the Manchester bombing? Like, how do you guys, particularly, you know, because I kind of hear it coming through that something of, in like that song of like, because all of those things are the antithesis of what we're trying to do with music, right? So how do you process it, and how do you see your role?
Well, there's an Alan Toussaint quote. So we played a show in New York like 6 hours after the Paris attack.
Oh, wow.
And I remember because there was like NYPD and just law enforcement everywhere, all over the venue. It was the exact same capacity.
Oh, boy.
So it was really bizarre.
Yeah.
And I just remember like a bunch of my family members, my siblings were coming that night, and just thinking about like, what if that happened to us? And I came across, Alan Toussaint had just passed away, and I came across an Alan Toussaint quote that I quoted that night. And it said, "Music also has a role to lift you up, not to be escapist, but to pull you out of misery." And to me, that was just like the best way you could say it, because it's not made to just like escape and forget everything, but it's like, to me, this is what helps you endure and helps you be lifted out of misery just enough to where you can handle it, and you can also address it and not have to wallow, but you can move forward.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important thing to be able to do with songwriting, or with even just being someone who likes to listen to music. Like,
Right.
It's a really important processing tool. And
Yeah, because you're either providing that stability as the writer, or you're reaching for it as the listener. But either way, you're making a connection with someone else, if not a number. I mean, because I go through this. It's like every time something like that happens, I turn to music to lift me up.
Yeah.
But then there are the days where it's just like, oh, it just feels so like pointless. You know, it's like, oh, I'm just doing music. What? You know, but then I'm like, no, I'm doing music. Like, it has its role. So
I mean, we were in Toronto the day we were all dealing with it, and
the
we
Vegas.
The Vegas.
and with Vegas, and I to add to what you were saying, we also turned to humanity. Like, we told them, we were like, today sucks. We told our crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I think we started the concert off like that, and they lifted us out of it, and we were with each other, and it just really, you know, it shows you that it's not just these people that get, like, that happens in everybody. I mean, all humanity's like trying to come around each other, that, you know, they want the best for each other, you know.
Yeah, I would even venture to say, like, when you were saying, like, there's the listeners that are reaching for it, and then us that are providing it, I would, in my particular case, I would say that I'm also reaching for it.
Yeah.
Because when I write, you know, when we write a song, we don't know how it's going to be received in a year when it's released, or when we start playing it. We have no idea. We don't know what stories those songs are going to connect with strangers that we've never met. And in
or what's going to be happening in the world when it does come.
Yeah,
I don't think
so,
we have
like,
the ego to like say that
No.
we could write a song to save the world. You know, that's what we.
So, like, that-
nothing like that.
that night we started singing "May You Be Well," and they started singing it kind of to each other.
Mm.
And then we were just all singing it together.
Yeah.
And we were all very much aware of everything that was going on, and we don't have the answers, and they don't have the answers, but we can all sit in that space together and just be like, you know, this is
hold
a stop
each other.
sign. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a stop sign. Like, writing music is a stop sign because it makes you, or making art is a stop sign because it makes you just like pause and think, and also listening or looking at art is also a stop sign. So I've really been grateful to be a part of those experiences. I was worried. I was worried the night of Toronto. I was like, what's this going to be like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about let's give the people a stop sign?
Let's do it.
Let's give them a bright and jovial little number. Dance at your own.
Lift it up, Zach.
Lift it on up.
Dance at your own risk.
Give me a beat.
Ready?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Made a promise to yourself, made a promise to her. What we both been running from won't find us for sure. Built that pretty home, built it stone by stone. You and I both know can't be happy for long. So where you gonna run to now? So where you gonna run to now? You and I both know can't be happy for long. So where you gonna run to now? Make a new plan for yourself and an old plan for the new girl. What we both been running from won't find us for sure. Broke that pretty home, built it stone by stone. You and I both know can't be happy for long. So where you gonna run to now? So where you gonna run to now? You and I both know can't be happy for long. So where you gonna run to now? Say your heart is thinking, say your well is dry, and everything inside you has walked off to die. Say your heart is broken and your love is gone. You and I both know you can't be happy for long. So where you gonna run to now? 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 You and I both know can't be happy for long. So where you gonna run to now?
The lone Bellow. Can't be happy for long. Off the new record, Walk Into a Storm. Great record.
Thank you.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
We are going to do the enlightening round now.
Yes.
I'm going to list some things. You're going to tell me your favorites in that milieu. What was your favorite day job that you've ever left behind?
Oh. There's so many to choose from.
Could be the worst favorite.
I was a deep water lifeguard at an amusement park.
Ooh.
It's the worst.
And I saw a lot of things I can't unsee.
Yeah.
I
That
was,
beats
no
pastry
bleach for the
chef for
mind's
sure.
eye.
Yeah.
I was a dishwasher at CC's Pizza,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't let me say, what is it they say? Welcome to CC's, because I was obnoxious.
What was your dishwashing technique?
Well, I got behind this one time, and I was 15.
I know.
They were cones.
They were cones.
Yeah, I got way behind this one time, and I just like hosed him down and sent him back out. I didn't put any soap on him. I was just like,
Put more pizza in your face. Every
no
morning.
one noticed. It's
No.
Cece's. It's so weird.
Imagine
So
that.
Oh,
Chocolate pizza.
gross. I like process mortgages at SunTrust Bank here.
Wow.
Yeah, for a little bit. It was a temp job that turned into a real job.
All right.
Dude, I didn't know that.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
I
that
did.
either.
I was like, man, I don't know if this is gonna work, but my friend's dad owns a mortgage bank. He owns a Remax in Atlanta.
Dude, yeah.
No, but that didn't happen because then I got a bartending job, and it's hard to go in smelling like beer to a SunTrust Bank every morning.
Yeah.
So I had to decide which one made more money.
Did you have to like do the illegal robo-pen on like mortgages and stuff? And
It
like,
was-
did you cause the bubble, Brian?
I might have gave myself more credit. I was just kind of just putting things in the manila folder.
You were just collating.
I was a mortgage broker.
I processed them somehow.
Yeah.
Just thought about them.
Yeah.
Journaled about them.
Process.
My
Emotionally
emotions.
processed. Nice. What's your favorite hole-in-the-wall bar that you've played?
Knuckleheads is not a hole in the wall, but it's awesome.
Dude, that was
It's in
fun.
Is that the one where the motorcycle guy,
Kansas City.
we had a moment? Yeah.
Where was that place in the UK where we played like the upstairs and then we sang behind the little bar?
Oh man, that
That
was
place
cool.
The
was awesome.
slaughtered lamb, and it had the...
That was in the Slaughtered Lamb was super cool.
Well,
That was awesome.
cool.
It felt like a punk show because it was like they were sitting right in front of us, and
Yeah.
we were a full band, and we were like playing like
Right.
we were like we're first time in London. We're going to make these people our fans.
Yeah.
So it was like it was awesome. That was a fun one. It was called Slaughtered Lamb though.
Yeah, that's a little dark.
I don't know. We played a show at her old like ice cream place that she used to work at, and she was waitressing. So she was like going around serving ice cream while she was singing her harmony.
Super obnoxiously loud in people's faces.
Nice.
I'm just
Nice.
I would wait.
All right, last one is, what's been your favorite late night show performance?
The most memorable one
Okay.
was Letterman
Yeah.
because all his union guys would just know they were done, and
We were there like the last month.
I
Oh,
used
boy.
to like I made my pedal board and I was really proud of it. It was just on a piece of wood or anything, but I was like I'm not gonna buy all this stuff, and I just made them all.
Yeah.
And they just like threw it on the ground and the pedals were everywhere. And 30 seconds before we were supposed to play, our manager came and told me I had to put my pedal board together. So what's the piano player?
Yeah, what's the piano
Paul
player?
Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer was like staring me down in like a whole minute, and it was so nerve wracking.
Oh,
But it went great.
It went great.
right on.
I like the I don't remember his name. Isn't that awful?
Which guy?
The British guy.
James Corden?
He's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was awesome. And he was super nice, too.
He was really nice.
He
Jimmy
seems like
Kimmel's
just
really
a really
nice.
good guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's cool.
He wouldn't give me my baby back for a while.
Oh,
He had him.
Jimmy
Jay
Kimmel,
Leno
baby thief.
rocks denim on denim like every day. Jay
Oh,
Leno.
oh, yeah.
And like acid wash too,
Every
right?
day.
Yeah, like-
sometimes
just
sort
doing
of
his
like
thing.
borderline acid.
1992
Yeah.
mom jeans.
My
Yeah,
favorite was
yeah.
the first time we played Conan because we were still all working our day jobs. I remember like meekly asking my boss for time off, and they were like, "What for?" I was like, "Play Conan." They're like, "Yeah."
Because I'm a rock star here on the way.
But I like that was unparalleled nervousness.
Oh,
Can you
there's
remember?
nothing.
We
Oh
were
my
all
gosh.
just like,
Oh, it was
You remember when they like,
insane.
scared me at the end of it? They said he's gonna scare you because he stands up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
He's on a little platform, so
Yeah.
he's like it feels like he's 8 foot tall, and I'm the one on the right.
Right.
So he's like,
yeah, he was just like looming over
Whoop.
Brian.
Yeah. No small feat.
no.
It was awesome.
No pun intended. Second song. I'm going with title track.
Yeah, this is it's about to rain, guys, and we're live on social media. So this is a song called "Walk Into a Storm."
Can I tune super fast?
Yeah, I was just gonna solo.
Always something. many strings.
So many.
Old strings.
Old.
I'd walk into a storm with you. Watch the wind dance with our home with you. Watch the lightning break our bones with you. Oh, I'd walk into a storm. I'd walk into a flame with you. Watch the fire burn our bed with you. Breathe the smoke in till we're dead with you. Oh, I'd walk into a flame. And I recall those days we felt like giving up on each other. Days I feel your mind with nothing but trouble. Nights that I can't choose. Watch the floodplains rise with you. Watch the mud turn into lies with you. Let the water and the ground bury us deep, deep down. Oh, I'd walk into the cold with you. I'd watch the frostbite shake a hold of you. Watch the ice break underneath our shoes. Oh, I'd walk into the flame. I recall those days we felt like giving up on each other. Days I feel your mind with nothing but trouble. Nights that I can't mention at all. Oh, where we going, I don't know. Are we landing on our feet? For better or worse, there's no escape. Always you and always me. Where we going, I don't know. Are we landing on our feet? For better or worse, there's no escape. Always you and always me. I recall those days we felt like giving up on each other. Days I feel your mind with nothing but trouble. Where we going, I don't know. Are we landing on our feet? For better or worse, there's no escape. Always you and always me. Where we going, I don't know. Are we landing on our feet? Better or worse, there's no escape. Always
the Lone Bellow title track off the new record, Walking to a Storm. Thank you guys so much for being here. What a
Thanks for
pleasure.
having us.
Good times.
Great times.
Such a.
Got that?
Yeah. There was something coming. We were going to wait for it.
Such a.
Give you that extra 4 bars.
I thought it was just in my brain. I didn't know it came out.
No, it came
It's
out.
such a
Yeah.
such a good time.
Hashtag. Such a. Yeah. Anyway, Brian Elmquist, Zach Williams, Keneen Pipkin, thank you. Good luck. I know you're heading back out on the road
Yeah.
for another big run.
Yeah. Pumped. Going to Knoxville. Gonna
Right.
go see that crazy old guy
Right,
with the
you were
Western
telling me.
clothes.
Yes, we're going there.
Last time his door wasn't open and we laid down in front of the front door in sadness.
Waited. Oh. Had a little moment, did you?
Yeah.
Well, I hope he's there for you this time.
Me too.
Yeah.
I do that at Gap too.
Nice. Let's see. Next week, Old Salt Union. So we will see you then. Grab the Lone Bellows record. Go see them on tour. Be those people. Be those people who do those things. Until then, over and out from Hillbilly Central. Such a.